to 15 years as a product manager, they have never done a PRD. Okay. So it depends on the, when I was asking some senior product manager, would you like to take a session on PRD or any topic of your interest? Then he asked me we never do PRD, right? And he is a senior product manager with 15 years of experience. So how can he miss it? How can he not be doing a product requirement document? So now you have two things. So one is the companies which are Agile, right? So Agile companies where they follow Agile, they will not have something called as PRD, product requirement document. Okay, so they'll be creating their own requirements in form of tickets, and they will be evolving over discussions, and they will develop as they go. Okay, they will not have a formal sign off document. Product requirement document as a formal sign off will not be there. Okay, but there will be some companies where they are particular about having a PRD, product requirement document, to see right from the beginning till the end. Okay, these are two different set of companies. Okay, so if I have to tell you, in Philips, when you are actually developing a new product, very new product, that point of time, you will have a product requirement document only to the level that requires to be done, a minimum product to be developed. After that, it will go into requirements, change requests, and all that. Okay, but in case of Signify also, I have seen that there is nothing called product requirement document. In fact, I have asked can we introduce some kind of process? So then the response from a senior guy is we are agile. We don't follow documentation, but we work on working proof. Okay, so don't make it complex. That was the comment. Okay, so working software is the proof of the development rather having a product requirement document. So nevertheless, learning about how to write a product requirement document is an essential thing. Okay, so when you know this, you know how the feature evolves and what kind of things to be considered from the beginning till the end. Okay. Now, what is PRD and why do we need it? It is a blueprint of the product. Okay, what is that we are going to develop? Okay, product or a new feature. Okay, so it ensures alignment between teams like a product manager, engineering, design, and business. Okay, yes, Sandy.
Thanks, Shakes. Just a question. What is the difference between a PRD, a BRD, and a BRS?
Okay, I know about two things. One is PRD and BRD. I don't know about the third one.
Business requirements document. Business requirements document. Yeah. And then business requirements specification. And then product requirements document.
Yeah, right. Okay. So as a business requirement document, we will tell we have to cater to this customer base over here, and what is the need of the business, right? Suppose if I tell you, we need to provide a customizable software solution, which can like a home automation solution for our customer in Dubai, where they are building a high net worth villas. Okay, suppose that is the case. So that is the business requirement. We need to provide a home automation thing for high net worth villas, which are getting constructed in Dubai. Okay, so that's a business requirement. And what kind of things are expected by business, right? So that is given in business requirement document. Okay, now that will get translated into PRD when if there is a product which is actually matching with the exact requirement of the business, then we are going to give it as out of the box solution. But if you don't have that product, then you come up with a product. product requirement, right? So that's where the PRDs comes into picture. So business requirement is, yes, I want to serve this customer, and the way I want to service this, and by which I am going to have this kind of value from the, as in the perspective of business, right? But to cater that, we may have a product, we may not have a product, right? So from business, we are actually deriving what kind of product will suit the business, and then we are coming up with a product requirement document that will help engineering team to build the product. Is this clear? Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I'd actually like to see an example if you do have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sure. We'll just look into that part, right? So if you see, right, let's take into two parts. So like, so one is the product requirement document, right? So in here, business requirement document, and then we have product requirement document. Okay. So here we are going to write what is the problem that we are solving for business. Business problem that we are solving, right? Here we are talking about the product problem statement. Here we give the context of the business, right? What is the context? Why we need this? Why we need this solution, right? So here we are going to talk about how can we build this solution, build product, right? And here we have something like what will be the outcome of it, outcome of solution. So then you can have like what kind of customers can be served, and what will be the revenue, customers served, and revenue, and budget. So all that comes into picture, right? Budget. So, and then what are the constraints that we have as a business, right? So that is all something which is given, right? So then here, if you see, right, so what is the technology that we are using, and what what is the how we are going to measure the success, right? And how are we going to scale or provide growth, right? So that, how are we going to um, like be compliant when we are releasing a product? So what kind of security is taken care, right? So this is the whole difference, right? Here in business, you will be coming up with a pestle or any other frameworks which helps business to understand that, okay, what kind of situation is there in the place where we are actually doing business. But when it comes to PRD, it's a different thing, right? So it's about what is the problem statement that we are solving, and how are we what is the solution that we have, what is the technology, what we consider as a success, and what needs to be taken care when we are in development, right? So development, and then what is the scale and growth that is happening, and then how are we going to be compliant to all the requirements of the product, and what is the security that we are going to have. So this is the basic difference that you have. It's not like everywhere you will have same structure, but these are the points that you should consider, right? So these are the points that you should consider to have a thought about, like you have to build the perspective around this, right? So step by step, you should think like what could be the tech, and what kind of techno adoption will be there to build this product, and when I will call this product as successful, right? So how am I going to measure it, right? So how can I scale this product, right? So and then how can be a complaint is something that, so these are the basic differences, but you can actually see to the product requirement. So what are the different components that we have in PRD is something that we need to see. So have you ever seen the product requirement document?
PRD, let's assume that we have the entire roadmap we have laid out. Based on the roadmap, we will be defining, like we will be having 2 or 3 bullet points in each and every, like this is the problems, this is the objective, problem statement, story, like we have epics, use cases, features, and like we have 2 3 bullet points. in a short and concise manner. This is what we are looking at.
Okay. Yeah, right. So basically, the epic names and story names and what are the use cases. So I
But not in a detail, right?
not in detail, right? So basically,
Okay.
it can go up to maybe 100, 200 pages if it is a complex product, but it can be a small feature also where it can go up to 3 to 4 pages or 5 pages. Okay.
Okay.
So I have seen a product requirement document which is of about 60 to 70 pages. So that was a product requirement document of a mobile application, which was created at very beginning of the product, because that was a medical product, right? So basically, when you are dealing with medical products and medical devices, so there the documentation, the requirement of documentation will be more. Okay. So at least for any small change, like a medical or aviation and these projects, right? So any small change that you are doing, there should be the requirement, the backtracking and all that. Okay.
I think
So
for healthcare industry
yeah,
specifically, they are still relying on a lot of documents only, like physical documents. Like very recently, they have started at least doing the CSR part, the study research part through using some of the Gen AI tools. But other than that, a lot of documentation is involved there, and I think that is part of their regulatory requirements.
yes, regulatory requirements, right? So they should prove exactly like what are the actions that were taken, like.
Yeah.
I believe there is one certification called the IC 6430 or something like that. And there are, when you are dealing with medical, right, there are devices, there are regulatory things like Class A, Class B, Class C, right? So yeah, different sections are there.
Yeah.
So based on that, you are going to fulfill the regulatory requirement with the documents that are required to be produced.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is very much there. So today we are not going to look into everything of this, but we will talk about exactly what is it and how it can be done. Okay, why it is required. Okay. So suppose the problem that you are solving, right? So you have to know what is the objective of that problem and why you are solving that problem. Okay, first thing. Okay, so what is the outcome of that problem that you are expecting? So defining the project's goals and challenges. That's the most important thing. What is that you're trying to achieve by this feature or by this product? Okay, that's the most important thing. So then you divide them into epics, as you call it, right? So epics and then two stories and then use cases. Okay, so that is the list of things that you want to do. And then you will have feature list and scope. That is where you are actually going to do some kind of road mapping, right? So okay, first 3 months I'm going to do this, and the next 3 months I'm going to do this. So some kind of road mapping you can do, and then after that you can have your designs, wireframes and all that, and then you can define what you call it as a success. Okay, so in this perspective, I wanted to clarify on one thing. So when you are writing the um, requirement, right? So the first thing is it's about writing the problem statement itself, right? So this is the way you can write your problem statement. So if you see generally, let's consider this as a product document. So what you will have is a problem statement and objective. What is that you wanted to achieve, right? And then you can have a positioning statement, and then you have maybe features list, and then you can go ahead for the what is the approach that you want to take, right? So from feature list, you can go into user stories, epics, user story, and then use cases. So then you can go ahead and understand how you want to develop, what is the roadmap that you have. So then you can actually see the metrics part, how you consider it as successful or not, right? So here you can see the data capture plan comes into picture. Then you have compliance, like what kind of security and penetration tests or whatever penetration tests and your test plan. So everything comes into picture. And then documentations, right? So documentation, everything. So this is how it comes, right? So first thing is you have to write these three things. So to be clear that what is that you have wanted to develop, why are we developing it, right? So that's where I came up with this kind of format where you can see, right? So we can write in a structured way so that we understand what is that we are trying to solve, right? Because it is a document which will be shared with your stakeholders, where we can concisely help them understand like what is that we are trying to build. Okay. So let's take Uber Eats.
Okay.
So consider yourself you are writing a product requirement document of it. So, and then you have to define a problem statement. What is that your product is going to solve? Right? What is that your product is solving, right? So how will you start with that? So this is a problem statement. So let me give this the problem of affects impact a successful solution. Now you have to fill this blank. So this will be really helpful. So to structure your thoughts, right? So it will clearly communicate to any stakeholder that what is that you are trying to solve, what is the effect that it is having, and as an impact, what is that customer is losing, right? So then what is the successful solution will look like? It is not a technical solution, right? It is still in the layman terms, like what is the solution that we are expecting, right? So let's take example of Uber Eats. So what is the problem that it's solving? The problem of
People who are not
any,
able to who are not able to get are not able to go out for dining, and they want the same restaurant food at their place.
yeah, the problem of unable to walk up to restaurant, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the effect? So
Revenue loss of the restaurant. And
now we are talking from the perspective of customer, right?
customer.
Right. Let's talk from
I
the
mean,
perspective of the customer.
okay. If
So
he
the
goes
effect
out to the
is,
restaurant, sorry.
let me write it like this. So being hunger,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, I'll be hunger for a long time, or I'm not able to walk up to restaurant, right? So basically, I have not carried anything. So it will put me into a situation where being hunger, or I pick up whatever comes, pick up whatever is in access, maybe junk food or whatever, right? So this is what it happens, right? As an effect. So as an impact, I may lose health, right? In long term, if I keep doing this, or I'm not happy about, I'm not taking good food, it will impact the health, right? So as a successful solution, should be able to order food from anywhere or consume food from anywhere, right? So this is just an example. Okay. So basically the problem looks from the customer perspective, I'm not able to walk up to the restaurants and I don't have time, like lack of time, right? So which impacts either I cancel my meeting or I have a food, right? Anything, any one thing can happen. I have to I have to plan it properly if I have to dine well, right? So as an impact, it is like it's affecting either my office hours or I can have only one. Either I can have office hour or I can have good food, right? I can have time with family or I can have good food, right? So you have to choose between them. So then a successful solution is you can consume food from wherever you feel like. I have an option to consume food from wherever I feel like. So likewise, you can write for any problem. Like, so what is the problem that the customer is facing now and how is it affecting and what is the impact of that and how a successful solution would help resolve that problem. Okay.
I
So
have
now,
one question.
Yeah.
Last time, you remember in the first session,
Yeah.
there was an introductory guest. She told her journey regarding the product management. I
Yeah.
would like to know. She said that she emphasis on she saw a pattern in while solving all the case study. So this is the structure we are following. So can you tell me what can you tell me what pattern or what can we able to identify from the problem statement? Like if a scenario is given, because I was trying to solve this yesterday, like how can if I given like to ChatGPT give me 10 scenarios and I would like to create a problem statement out of it in the same structure what you told me. So I was not able to make out a pattern from that. So can you tell me how we can make out a pattern based on this?
I didn't completely understood the pattern part. Okay, so possibly what she is trying to tell is you have our thinking process, right? So that continues to be from the not from the customer point of view, from the solution point of view. Always we think from the solution point of view because we are used to it. So we never think from customer point of view. So that is something which will be missing. So when you are writing problem statements, you always think about how the solution will work, right? So, but the customer pain points is completely ignored. So probably that is what is going to be evolving, right? By time, what we will do is we think everything from the customer perspective, right? So now, if you see customer, right, there can be multiple customers,
Correct.
right? So if I see Uber Eats, there will be multiple customers. One problem statement is not going to help everybody. Okay. So here you can see busy working professional, right? Student, okay, foodie. You can say like a working woman, right? So everybody is different. Their personas are different. So why they are ordering and why when they order is different, right? So you need to have like from that perspective. So this kind of pattern will evolve. Your understanding will evolve when you think more from the customer point of view. Like you will understand like okay, case studies, right? So you will strongly get that compassion towards customer and you can segregate customers. You can talk in a fluent language. That's what I believe she meant, right? So
Correct. She meant that.
yeah, right. So as soon as you understand about 1, 2, 3, and then you know like okay, fine, there will be different kind of customer. Okay, let me think about it, something like that, right? So it that understanding will evolve by time as you solve more case studies. So that will develop. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about
Thank
the positioning statement. Yeah. Um, let's talk about the positioning statement. So why do we need a positioning statement? Because if you see the requirement, the product requirement document, when we are writing use cases, user stories, that depends on the customer that we are serving, right? So that is why it becomes more relevant, like for whom we are developing, right? And what is the solution that we are giving, and how is how it is going to be functionally working, and how we are different from our competitors, right? If you write these two statements will give an essence to all the stakeholders that what is the feature that we are developing. Like you take marketing, you take engineering, you take a designer, you take a developer, right? For everybody, these two statements will be clear enough to work, to build upon. Okay. So
Then what is the second statement called as?
it is called
This
as positioning statement. Positioning statement.
Okay.
Okay. So the positioning statement will help to tell whom we are addressing, right? So who is the customer that we are addressing to, and what is the differentiator? Okay, so this is something that we are actually trying to help our customers understand, our stakeholders understand that, okay, what is that we are trying to achieve here? So it is not like the entire, the PRD, right? So as a product developer, as a product manager or product owner, I'm going to write entire PRD by myself. That is not how it works. So PRD evolves by time. So basically you break down the problem statement, and you sit with people and you brainstorm, and you do maybe the value proposition canvas and JTBT and all those things, right? So everything comes into picture, and finally you will come up with the features, right? So that feature again you have to look into how you are going to build that feature, so that you are going to feature wise you are going to make epics. So then you don't know how you want to break, you have to break it further. You are going to take from either lead developer or somebody and brainstorm and write user stories. Okay, and then you figure out scope using involving these stakeholders like lead developers or developers. Okay, so it's not that you are going to sit alone and write all the user stories or epics. So you have to involve uh, not the engineering manager, but at least solution architects and architects, and then lead developers and developers while writing these epics, and at least get validated. Okay. Once you write it, this file has to be circulated and validated and confirmed by all the people, all the stakeholders. If there are any edits, we can do it. Right. So some elements are core, like what do you think as success and all that. So that is core to it. So some parts are core, but some parts you need help from the team. The compliance, you don't know, right? So you will be looking into a security officer, right? Product security officer, PSR we call it as, right? So you have to look at everybody. This is a kind of a live document. So you are going to approach everybody, and the designing and wireframe is not done by you. So you have to see, like, if you can define a rough wireframe, so there will be designers who will be doing the concrete wireframes, right? So for a PRD success, a good PRD to start, you have to start with a good product statement and a good positioning statement. That will define everything after that. Do you want to write one positioning statement? So let's take Uber Eats only.
Okay.
So how will we write a positioning statement here? So now tell me, like, for the that unlike So whom you are building for? Customer, right? For students, suppose I take one persona, which is like students or bachelors, right? Then what do we have? The
The
solution.
solution. Correct.
Yeah. What is the solution? Like food delivery service. Right? The food delivery service. Choice to make. Right. So that helps have
Impact and functionality.
quality food, right? Quality and personalized food, preferred food, right? Preferred food. Unlike walking up to
Restaurants.
restaurants.
I mean, this is for convenience as well, right? Not entirely about just food.
Yeah, right. Quality, preferred food, and convenience. Unlike walking up to restaurant and
Ordering.
reserving seats and waiting and all that. Right? So other than that, they can continue to do whatever they are doing. So they can have food, right? So this is kind of positioning. So then when you do marketing message, right? So whatever the positioning that you write here, so that will somehow turn into a marketing message also. So this is how you wanted to position, like the differentiator, right? So then you have user stories, so that you break features into and then feature list, design frameworks and all this. So this is the structure of the PRD.